Hello, so I just finished school yesterday, and well, the last official day of school was yesterday, and graduation isn't for a couple days. So all my family's coming into town, and I don't have too much to talk about, but I figured I'd just make a quick little video anyways. So I was thinking about what I should tell you guys about today, and I thought I'd give you like a little story about my past, or maybe a couple stories. So I thought, what would be fun to share? My cringe stories. You know, everyone has these moments. You probably know what I'm talking about. You know, it's little times in your life when you just do something or say something that just, whenever you think about it, you just cringe and you don't want to think about it, and it'd be so much better if everyone who was there who witnessed that event was just forgot about it. And sometimes you wish you could forget about it. This happens to me like all the time. I have this situation happen like every other day. So I figured I'd tell you 5 pretty much recent cringe stories that I've got. They've got to be recent because otherwise I start pushing them out of my memory after a few weeks until I've totally forgotten about them and I can live in peaceful bliss. Cringe story number 1, the girl in the restaurant. So this story happened about 3 days ago, so it's the most recent, and it's the one that's currently scarring into my brain because I haven't had a chance to forget it yet. But I was in a coffee house with some friends and we were doing a school project. We were sitting in a booth and I could feel someone like staring at me from behind, like really close, just right on the corner of my eye, right? And I assumed it was one of my friends. So I whipped my head around real quick to see who it is, and it turns out to be like a 3-year-old little girl. I only saw her for like a split second, but that moment I did see her, her face just faded from staring blankly into space in my direction to absolute terror. And then she jumps down real quick. And her mother was right there and she was looking at me and it was very awkward. Story number 2, you're in my way. Okay, this story is a little bit less awkward because I didn't really deal with it. I kind of just let it sit there. But there's this one girl at my school, for the context of the story, she had just dyed her hair black. And we've got this thing going on that whoever sees each other first, like if I see her first, I have to say you're in my way, and vice versa. And it's just a thing we've been doing. One day I was walking with my friend past some vending machines in my school, and I see that girl, and there's a big crowd of people, and she's standing like about 5 feet away from me, her back's turned, and I can see her hair. So I walked up to her and past her, and I leaned down, because she was about yay tall, so I leaned down real close, and I say in a very nasty voice, "You're in my way." The girl then immediately turns around, and it isn't her. It's some random stranger, who again had a look of absolute terror. So then I turned away, stood up straight, and walked away as fast as I could with my friend. Story number 3, the man at the cash register scares me. Okay, so me and my friends went to an art museum in LA the other day, and while we were there, we went to the little gift shop that was attached to the museum. And while we were there, they had those buttons, like these kind here, that I've got attached to my backpack. Yeah. And I looked around, and they had a really cool one that I wanted to get as a souvenir. Except once I picked it up and I wanted to buy it, I looked over and realized I was terrified of the cashier. Now this happens a lot, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. It's kind of terrifying going up to someone and having to socialize, I guess. But it was scary, so I had to awkwardly stand there with the button until one of my friends asked me if they wanted them to buy it for me, which they did. Number 4, the interview. Okay, this story is about 2 years old or something like that. It was a long time ago. For some reason this one stuck with me, which is kind of painful because it's one of the most embarrassing. So a couple years ago, I used to go to a summer camp every year to train to be a lifeguard, which is cool, and it's so cool that the city thought that they would come down to the lake where we were practicing and interview us and put it in the newspaper. And I got a bit excited when I heard there was going to be news reporters around. So we were all casually standing around before the interview started, and this news reporter woman was just going around and asking all the kids what city they were from. Same question every single time. She went, "What city were you from?" and kept going down the line. And then finally she got to me, and when I should have just stood there, smiled, and said Riverside, instead I did this. I'm Philip Baker, which I know is really stupid. So then the woman looks at me kind of confused, and my friends laugh, and she looks at me again and goes, "Where are you from?" To which I again responded, "I am Philip." And that's why I didn't make it in that newspaper article. And finally, number 5, how to embarrass yourself in the 1500s. Okay, this story probably hurts the worst. So you guys remember when I was at the Renaissance Fair a couple weeks ago? If not, there's an annotation to it there and a link in the doobly-doo. So while I was there, I would go up to people who were in character and go up to them with the camera and ask them their name and their profession and things. And I would seek out the most interesting looking people, and everything was fine until I bumped into Yos. I believe that was his name. He was in the video. I walked up to him with the camera and I asked him, "What is your name?" And he just stared at me like he was angry, like he was really, really angry. And he just kept staring at me. And I felt my face go from a cheery smile slowly into a look of terror. And I put the camera down and I started to walk away. I did eventually interview him. He must have noticed my terror, or at least he noticed the camera going down, because he started to talk and get a little bit more social, but I was terrified of him. And it wasn't until after I left the Renaissance Fair that he misheard me. He thought I was trying to take a picture, and he was posing. And you know what? I still have the resulting footage. Me stupidly just staring at him as he poses. Excuse me, sir. May I ask you a few questions? I think that's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me embarrass myself in front of the internet. Again. But anyways, remember to like if you enjoyed, and remember to like, favorite, and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. And I think that's it. So till then, bye!